Session 18, Constructor and Destructor. Constructor is a special function inside a class that is executed automatically when an object of the class is created. In other words, constructor is executed automatically when an object comes into scope. In Python, init function acts as constructor. Init function must begin and end with double underscore. So the syntax of init is underscore underscore init underscore underscore parenthesis. Destructor is a special function inside the class that is executed automatically when an object goes out of class scope. That is, destructor is executed automatically when object goes out of scope. In Python, del function acts as destructor. Del function must begin and end with double underscore. So the syntax should be underscore underscore del underscore underscore parenthesis. Class sample contains a constructor. How do I know it is a constructor? Because of the name init. So the name of the function is init underscore underscore init underscore underscore. So it is a constructor. So when I create an object obj, so in this statement object obj is created. So as we know the definition of constructor, the constructor init is executed automatically when object is created. So 10 is passed to n1 and the value 20 is passed to n2. Now look at the output. Get constructor of sample. Sum is equal to 30. So this is by the execution of the constructor. So first print statement constructor of sample, and then n1 is 10, it is stored in self.n1, and n2 is 20 stored in self.n2. Sum is equal to 10 plus 20 to get 30. So this is also the same class, but now I have added a destructor function. So you can see init is the constructor and del function is the destructor. Def underscore underscore del underscore underscore self. It is a destructor. So when the object is created, first the constructor will be executed and then at last the destructor will be executed. The destructor del is executed automatically when object goes out of scope. So this usually happens when program comes to an end or at end of the program. So you can see the output. Destructor of sample is also printed. So in this example, we will see something more about the class variable. How to access class variable within constructor or function or method. So here num is the class variable. So if I want to access the class variable inside the constructor, I should write sample.num. So I should use the syntax class name dot class variable. I cannot simply access as num. I should say sample.num. And self.var refers to the variable var which belongs to the current instance of the class. That is current object of the class. So this program gives me this output. So when the first object is created, obj1, 15 is passed to var in the constructor, and 15 is stored in self.var, and sample.num plus equal to 1 will increment num by 1, and the next two print statements will give the output object colon 1, and the value of object is equal to 15. Similarly, when I am creating the other two objects, obj2 and obj3, the constructor gets executed and I get the corresponding outputs. So, initially, the value of num is 0, that is the class variable num is 0, and the first object obj1 is created with value var as 15. Var is referred as self.var in the constructor. So when the first object is created, because of sample.num plus equal to 1, num is incremented to 1, and then the second object is created, obj2, and num gets incremented to 2, and the third object, obj3, is created and num becomes 3. So what do you understand from this? Class variable num is shared by all the objects of the class. So change made to num by one object is reflected in other objects also. Class variable in Python is similar to static variable in C++. Public and private variables. So in this constructor, so before that, variables defined inside the class are public by default. So any variable you create in the class is by default taken as public. So here n1 and n2 are public variables. So using the object obj, I am accessing the variables n1 and n2 outside the class, obj.n1, obj.n2. So it is clear that public variables can be accessed outside the class. Suppose I change n2 to underscore n2. So self dot underscore n2. So in the print statement also I change obj dot underscore n2. Now n1 is public and n2 is private. So the variable without the underscore is public, and when you prefix it with a double underscore, it becomes private. So when this statement obj dot underscore underscore n2, the print statement is executed, Python throws error, attribute error, sample object has no attribute underscore underscore n2. So from this it is clear that private variables cannot be accessed outside the class. That's all for today. Thank you.